We tend to think of our brain as, well, just this static gray blob, right? But what if I told you it's actually a supercomputer and that right now it could be running a secret hardware update you don't even know about?
And that's really the core idea here. Your brain isn't this fixed thing. Nope. It's a super dynamic system that's constantly getting new features, new programming, and yeah, sometimes a few strange glitches. It's basically installing biological DLC, downloadable content, but you don't even get a pop-up notification.
So that's the big question, isn't it? How would you even know if your brain's getting an upgrade? Well, we're going to dive into some of the most fascinating signs that your neural hardware might be just a little bit different from everyone else's. And we're starting with the really rare stuff, the most powerful features you can possibly have. All right, first up, what I like to call the neural God mode glitches. I'm talking about biological superpowers that are so rare, they honestly feel like they're straight out of a comic book. These aren't just little tweaks to your perception. Oh no, they completely rewrite the rules of how you experience reality itself. Okay, so probably the most famous of these God mode glitches is something called synesthesia, and this is just wild. It's where your brain's wiring gets a little crossed and your senses, which are supposed to be separate, right? Like sight and sound, they just start blending together in ways they absolutely shouldn't. So for someone with synesthesia, hearing the word table might literally give them a taste in their mouth. I'm not kidding. Certain words can trigger really distinct flavors, like strawberries or mint. Just try to imagine that for a second, tasting the sound of someone's name. And it goes even deeper than that. For the tiny 1% of people who have this, music isn't just something you hear, it's something you watch. A piano note might trigger a flash of blue light. It basically turns the entire world into this permanent multi-sensory light show. How cool is that? Okay, next up is a superpower that feels like it was made for the modern age, the short sleep mutation. You know that one friend who seems to thrive on almost zero sleep? Well, they might actually have this genetic feature. It's a mutation in a gene called DEC2, and it basically fine-tunes their internal body clock. It allows them to have a much shorter, super efficient sleep cycle. Their brain is kind of like a high-performance engine that just runs longer on way less fuel. So while most of us are absolute sleep-deprived zombies after a 4-hour night, someone with this mutation, they can feel totally refreshed and ready to rock. Seriously. They're the ones who are wide awake at 2 a.m. organizing their closet for fun, and then they're still fresh as a daisy at 6 a.m. It's just not fair. And finally, for our God mode category, we've got something called the spinal reflex arc. I love this one. Think of it as your inner part-time Spider-Man. You know that superhuman moment of speed and reaction that just kicks in before you even have time to think? Yeah, that's it. So here's how it works. It's so cool. Let's say a glass starts to fall off a table. Now, instead of that danger signal traveling all the way up to your brain for processing, it takes a shortcut. It hits your spinal cord, which immediately fires back a command to your muscles, and boom, you catch the glass before your conscious mind even realizes it was falling. Your body is literally acting faster than you can think. Okay, so those were the super rare, almost comic book level superpowers, but now let's get into the more common glitches in our perception. These are the everyday mind tricks that really show just how differently all of our brains can be wired. All right, I want you to do a little experiment with me right now. As you're listening to my voice, is there another voice inside your head kind of narrating or commenting on what I'm saying? Or is it just totally silent in there? This, my friends, is the great internal monologue divide, and it is a massive biological split. Some of us have a 24/7 narrator, a constant stream of words chattering away. And for others, it's pure concepts, images, or feelings, no words needed. And you know what? Whichever side you're on, the other one probably sounds completely alien. Okay, here's one I bet almost everyone has experienced. You feel that buzz, that distinct vibration in your pocket. You pull out your phone and nothing. Not a single notification. No text, no call. So what on earth is going on? Don't worry, it's not paranoia. It's actually your brain's predictive software in action. Your brain has gotten so used to the habit of feeling that buzz that it just starts filling in the blanks, creating the sensation even when there's no trigger. It is literally predicting a reality that isn't even there. Wild, right? All right, on to our final category, the brain on autopilot. Think of these as your system's background processes, the little maintenance routines your brain is running when you're not even paying attention. So let's talk about those sudden aha moments. You know, when a brilliant idea just pops into your head?
Well, you can thank your brain's cleanup crew for that. It's officially called the default mode network, or DMN, and it's responsible for those flashes of insight when you least expect them. Come on, we've all been here. You're staring at a really tough problem, hitting a wall, getting nowhere. So you give up, you go for a walk, you do something else entirely. And then, out of the blue, bam, the perfect solution just pops into your head. That was a magic. That was your DMN hard at work. See, while your conscious mind was taking a break, a part of your brain called the medial prefrontal cortex was still plugging away. By stepping back, you let your brain escape that fixed way of thinking and start making new, creative connections. That's why your best ideas always seem to pop up in the shower. Your brain was basically finishing your homework for you in the background. But what happens when the whole system is running low on resources? Well, that's when you get brain fog. The best way to think about it is like mental buffering on a slow internet connection. Your thoughts feel sluggish, words just vanish from your mind. And that's because your hardware is literally struggling, running low on essential fuel like oxygen or glucose.
And here's the important thing to remember. During brain fog, your brain isn't failing you. It's actually protecting you. It's experiencing a system overload, and it's smartly shifting its resources to prioritize just basic survival functions over high-level clear thinking. So remember that. It's a hardware problem, not a personal failing. So when you put it all together, from literally seeing sounds to thinking in total silence, it's pretty clear that we're all running on slightly different operating systems, aren't we? Our own neural hardware comes with its own unique set of features, its own updates, and yeah, even a few glitches. And that really brings us to the final big question for you. After hearing all this, which of these glitches is part of your programming? Are you one of those short sleepers, a silent thinker? Or maybe you've got a part-time Spider-Man living in your spine. Whatever the answer is, it reveals the secret hardware update your brain has been running all along.
Late had snake creeps a great time.